In the world of racing, I don't care what form it is, one of the worst things that can happen to any race car driver is to work all off season long, putting together a new car, massaging it, getting it waxed up, taking it to a show, making sure that everything's beautiful, and then what happens the very first week out? You wreck it. Well, for a long time, street stock, pro stock racer, you name it, he's driven it. Bret Belden has never done that before, but he did that just a little while ago. Of course, we saw his car at Motorsports Expo in Syracuse, all shined up, looking beautiful, but the very next time he took it out at Port Royal the following Saturday, he wrecked it, and you can see the picture that you were looking at right there. And it's some pretty substantial front-end damage, but we're going to see exactly how bad it is. We're going to head out to Clinton, New York. Bret Belden started racing as a teenager. He joins us. I was going to say Dougster Diary again. Bret, how you doing, man?
Good, Doug. How are you?
Doing very well. So was I right in my open that there's not many feelings worse than what happened to you in the world of racing?
No, it's not, because I guess probably could have seen it coming. We had an issue the night before we got ready to go to Port Royal, and we had an issue with some brake cylinders, and my son-in-law was off early in the morning getting replacement ones. Finally got the car loaded up later than we wanted to leave, but we were ahead of schedule still, so we were in good shape, and got it loaded in the trailer. And my wife and I and oldest granddaughter were at Sealands Grove. We're about an hour from Port Royal, and a woman was trying to get in the shopping center through a, I believe, yellow light, because ours was still okay. And she pulled right in front of us, and I locked the brakes up, and the car broke loose in the trailer. No. Went up in front of the trailer, ran over both my air jacks, and broke my tire rack, and ran into the toolboxes. So that was number 2, Doug. And I guess when everything was said and done and the dust cleared down to Port Royal, the crash was number 3.
Wow. So it was just a bad weekend all the way along. So were you thinking that, is this going to carry over to Saturday? Were you thinking of that?
My daughter had it in her head, but she didn't dare say anything. I'm sure my wife did too, but we were in Sealands Grove, we're an hour from Port Royal. I'm like, if I was an hour from home instead of an hour from Port Royal, I probably would have thought about turning around, but, you know, a racer's going to race.
Yeah,
you're going to get there, and there was nothing wrong with the car. Nothing happened to the car, just broke a couple things in the trailer, battery charger and stuff like that. But no, we should have known. And we got down there Friday, and hot lap sessions. We had some practices Friday morning, and that went real well. We got a bad draw for the heat race, and we started dead last in the heat race, and we had to get the top 3 in redraw. So the car went well enough where we made it to the top 3 and redrawed, and we were starting 4th. So everything was really looking good, and everything was going the way we had planned it to go, And the next day we went out for hot laps, and the car was okay, and got the tires all ready, put them on for the feature, and that's when it was a little past halfway. But we had a good hot rod, Doug, and we were running with them, so we learned a lot, and it's disgusting when the crash like that happens, and your day's done.
But well, what happened?
We really did learn a lot about this new Playfab chassis. We're gonna have a really good race car, and Shane took care of us, got us fixed up, so we know we're gonna be able to put it right back where it was, get it back on the scales, and we had all the scales and percentages and everything. We got all them wrote down, so we can get her right back to where she was.
Okay. Well, what happened? What happened in the crash? How did it happen?
We were running third, and Richie Crane got by us, and he was running third. I was running 4th, and I may have searched a couple times a little bit high. I believe everybody was running in the groove where the good groove was, and all of a sudden, Richie Crane, I see him headed toward the bottom, and just as soon as he started turning left, I could just see the front fender of a car ahead of him that I knew wasn't headed in the right direction. So I took a hard right, and then we were in the marbly stuff or going that fast that I just couldn't collect it before we ended up in the wall. And we hit the wall and spun right around. So we were against the first 2, the top 2 runners, and then Steve Cossaman, no fault of his, he got out of control and got in that marbly shit and come right up and slammed into the driver's side of the car.
Wow. Yeah, because as I'm looking, it seems like it's all front end. Is it all front end or no?
It was all front end. Yeah. What happened was when I turned, it was going to be one of them rights, either spin around or a right and then a left. But obviously the car took off and there was nowhere near enough room or time to do the left. It was just it's one of them knee jerks, you know. I mean, You got half a second to decide what you're going to do, and we hit the guardrails with the front end, maybe the left part of the front end, and when it spun around far enough so the same left front end of the car was took most of the brunt when Castleman come in and hit the driver's side. Like I say, no fault of his.
Okay. Because as I'm looking at this picture, is all the white, that's what you just primed, the part that we're seeing, it's white, not yellow, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Where the plastic is with the tape, we taped that off where the powder coat was because we were priming it so we could try to get the yellows to match. It's just from the coil springs forward, so any vital parts and everything are still right where they're supposed to be. So I have a feeling we'll have a fairly easy time getting all our numbers back and stuff. Shane had some 2x4s cut up for us, and we went out Wednesday. We dropped the car off, and Sunday we picked it up because he builds these chassis and stuff now, and he has a lot of customers, and I didn't want to get in the way of him getting other cars done. So he took his own time and got this thing back together for us and made us 3 or 4 interior body panels that we needed and mounted a couple doors for us because we had to put some new body parts on it also.
Okay. So let me see. So this picture was on Tuesday. You guys are getting this on Saturday. I'm recording this at 7:30 on Friday night. How does it look right now?
Right now, all I got to do is finish installing the tie rod ends, putting the toe plates on there, setting the toe in. Travis Welch, my car owner, Ted's Body Shop, has the new radiator. He takes that and we got to get some tabs welded on it for our nice one-piece shroud that we have. And so I'm gonna say in a day we'd be ready to put it on the scales and be ready to go.
Okay. There's practices, by the way. He's got some time because Utica Rome doesn't go till the 19th, but they have a practice on the 12th and then another one on Tuesday, the 16th. So now those practice sessions do take on some new importance, don't they?
They sure do. Just to make sure we got it back where we were. Like I say, we learned, this is the first time in this chassis, and we learned a few things down there, but we got to get it on Utica Rome and see what it's going to do there. So if we get the numbers back where we want them, we'll pretty much have the same car, and then we'll have to adjust it to the racetrack. I mean,
well, which we do be doing anyway, of course. So okay. All right.
Absolutely. So we're status quo, Doug. I mean, we talked about it before we went down to Port Royal. It'd be nice to go down and learn some things with this car, massage it a little bit more, have a couple 3 weeks off, and go to Utica. But you know that can't happen.
Yeah, that did not happen. So only got about a minute left at this point, Brett. How confident are you that the car will come back to right where it was?
Oh, I'm 100%.
100%.
I mean,
okay.
Yeah. We got some good numbers and everything. So. And racing technology today, I'm 100% we'll get it right back where it was.
Very good. So, again, coming up the 19th, that'll be the season opener. And, of course, a couple of practices, like we said, on the 12th and 16th. Look for Bret Belden's number 81. And now you've seen underneath. You've seen all the work they had to do because the engine had to come out, all that work. It's a lot of shop work. And I'm glad things went well for you, Brett. I'm glad you had a good week. And sorry it had to go that way.
Doug, I appreciate it, and I appreciate you reaching out to me and asking me, and I just want to throw out there, I appreciate we were on our way home Saturday night, and I had a gazillion text messages and calls, and I had my daughter post something on there. We were trying to get home, and I appreciate everybody reaching out and seeing how I was.
Yep, and everything worked out okay, and it's going to be fine. So, Brett, good talking to you. I'll make sure I see you at the track soon, okay, buddy?
All right, Doug, thank you. Thanks for all you do.
Remember to subscribe, turn on the notifications, leave a comment if you'd like, hit that like button, and looking forward to getting out to the racetrack. Won't be long, guys. We'll all be getting dirty at our favorite weekly racetrack.